I'm about to give you all the tips and tricks that I used when studying for the ASVAB. But first, let me explain what the ASVAB is and how it works. The ASVAB is a standard multi-aptitude test used by the US military to determine if somebody qualifies for enlistment and to help identify potential military career fields. It measures developed abilities in areas like math, science, and verbal skills to help align recruits with jobs that they are likely to succeed in. Now let's talk about how the ASVAB is structured. The main part concerning your overall score in the ASVAB is your AFQT score. Your AFQT score consists of arithmetic reasoning, which is word problems and quantitative reasoning, mathematics knowledge, consisting of geometry, algebra, and math fundamentals, and paragraph comprehension, which is basically just reading comprehension. When you receive your ASVAB score, which can be a 1 through a 99, that score is actually your AFQT score. The MLS section of the ASVAB is separated and is more for a specific job, just like healthcare, cyber, intelligence, whatever that may be. Understand that if you want a very specific job, math #1 will be your key. The Air Force is big on math. Along with that, for job-specific areas, there's going to be things like your mechanical knowledge, your electrical knowledge, assembling objects, and general science. Your main concern to qualify to get into the US military should be your AFQT score. If you want a very specific job within the military, score high in your AFQT and also score high in a specific MOS section. All right, now that we got that out the way, let's talk about how I studied for the ASVAB. Starting with #1, the ASVAB for Dummies book was the #1 reference guide that I used when it came to studying for the test. It is important to have study material to base your study sessions off of. The ASVAB for Dummies book has reference guides and also comes with its own self-tests. I 100% recommend you use that when it comes to studying for the test. The practice tests in the ASVAB for Dummies really helped me to gauge my knowledge on where I was at before taking the test. Second was using YouTube. YouTube videos really my biggest help when it came to subjects in the ASVAB for Dummies book that I did not understand. Especially YouTube being free, I would use YouTube as a tool to expand my knowledge on something that I was uneasy about. #3 is online practice tests. You can find online practice tests almost anywhere online for completely free. However, those are mainly to gauge your knowledge on exactly where you are when it comes to studying and how much you understand the overall subjects. Now that you have a simple guide, I'll explain on why scoring high on the ASVAB is important. You want to score around a 70 to an 80 on the ASVAB AFQT section. The reason being is because the Air Force has been meeting their recruiting standards, so jobs are much more scarce. People can be fully qualified, but if they're not desirable for the Air Force, they can be waiting around for months to even years before they actually get a job and ship off to basic training. You also want to score higher on the ASVAB to have more job options. Remember, your job, being your AFSC, will be your entire life for the next 4 to 6 years, which can feel like a very long time while in those 4 to 6 years. The lower you score on the ASVAB, the less desirable you are for the Air Force and the less career opportunities that you have. The higher you score, the more desirable you are for the Air Force and the more jobs you have. With all that being said, y'all need to make sure that you have the right mindset when it comes to approaching the ASVAB and joining the military. The test is one thing, however, the mindset that you carry and the confidence in yourself are going to be your best friends when it comes to taking the ASVAB. You need to remember why you're doing all this, why you want to join, and what is going to push you through all the headaches. So with that being said, continuously remind yourself of why you're doing this. Enlisting in the military is a huge opportunity and can be used as a stepping stone to get ahead in life. I recommend that you make a note to yourself of what your why is and that you go over every single week until it is that you join. Now, what kept me going is the economy in America is in shambles. I also knew that it would be very difficult to buy a house without attaining the VA loan. Education is very expensive nowadays, and it's very hard to get anywhere without that. The military paying for my food, my housing, education, healthcare, and many more things is helping me step so much further in life that I would have been as a civilian. Now remember to remind yourself of your whys. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, I know that you'll enjoy this video that I made about my personal basic training experience. I'll link that video down below in the description, and I'll also pin it as the top comment. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, have a blessed day.